Hi, okay, so I was just talking in my last video about the 12-week year stuff, about telling people your intentions as a way of committing yourself further to your goals. And I think that works for a lot of people. What I was saying in that video was that for me right now, that would actually be antithetical because, as anybody who has watched a few of these videos, if anybody has, knows, I'm about a year-ish out of a big, long time, maybe lifetime long depression. Maybe not it's a long story, but for a very long period of time, I did not believe in myself. I did not think I could do anything. I assumed that I wouldn't live up to my word. Which, if you do that, what's going to happen? You don't live up to your word. So what I am doing right now, as I continue on my journey of healing and improving myself and improving my life, is I'm not really telling my family about a lot of it. Not that me and my family are that close anyway. And even if I was telling them and I were a little closer, sorry, it bothers me that we're getting rid of the conditional, guys. Subjective moods. Even if I were closer with my family, we're just kind of one of those families that just don't understand each other, really. But if I were closer to them, number one, as much as I love them, and I do love them all, they're not the most positive of people to begin with. My joke has been that, my mom could win $1 million in the lottery, and she'd be, you could tell her, hey mom, I won $1 million in the lottery, and she'd be like, well, you're gonna have to pay half of that in taxes. That sort of encapsulates my mother, who I love. Don't get me wrong. I say this with love, but she's a bit negative. So add that onto the fact that I've been disappointing myself for the past decade, let's say, again and again. So, I have trained them not to believe in me. So I don't want to state my goals or what I'm going to do. Oh, it's going to rain. It is sort of already raining. I don't mind, though. It's fine. I do wish I had my umbrella. But I've trained them not to believe in me, because when you don't believe in yourself and you prove to yourself and to others that you're not going to follow through, and that, if you believe that you're incompetent, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to get anything done because you don't think you can do it, so you quit when it gets hard, because you're like, well, why go any further with this? It's just going to hurt more later when I fail. So it's a remarkable process that we do to ourselves. But the point is, right now, I do not plan on failing. In fact, I am very sure that I will succeed. I am succeeding. But because of that, I'm not really telling my family about this at all. My business and stuff, vaguely, occasionally, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, maybe you should just go get a job. I'm like, well, I do kind of have to finish these 3 books that I'm working on for clients. And she's like, oh, but that's it. I'm not going to really go into it, because when I start painting a picture, they don't believe me. And that bothers me, because I used to be someone who would paint a picture, and if I said it out loud, that was it. If I said it out loud to anybody, I had to do it. There was no question about it. It was happening. And that is a quality I really liked about myself. I didn't actually know that you could do it any differently, to be honest with you. And it was only as I got older and I realized that other people don't do that, it occurred to me that I could not do that. And that just went downhill from there. But I really want to get back to that. I really want to be that person who, if they say it out loud, it happens. I was very careful when I was younger about the things that I said I would do. I was super careful. I gave it a lot of thought before I opened my mouth and said anything, because when I said it, I was committed to it. And that's what I want to happen now. And the only way to get that to happen is to get out of some of the habits I have created for myself. And that is speaking up before I consider it. So that's one of the habits I want to cultivate again. Thinking before I say I'm going to do something, making sure that I can and I'm willing to do it. I have the time, I have the ability, and I have the desire, and that I will do it. So that's a big deal. And I am very excited to have that part of me back. And that's called integrity. And that's a very important quality to me to have, because when you have integrity, you're also reliable, and I want people to be able to rely on me. And I'm writing this book about partnerships. It's, I have a company. The easiest way to describe it is we ghostwrite books for people, but it's done very, it's a really cool process, actually. We interview them for a half an hour every week. So all their commitment is a half an hour every week for 12 weeks. And then at the end, a month after the 12 weeks are done, or a month or two after they're done, depending on how many clients I have, the book is done. And the thing about it is, like, it's not a lot of work on their part, but it comes out, it's all their information, it's all their personal life stories, and it's written in their words as much as possible, in their voice, let's say, because we work from transcripts. And it's really, I actually really enjoyed it. It's a cool process. So as much as possible, this book is theirs. They're the author. I mean, I don't really do research, because they're the expert and they have to tell me what they know. So it's all theirs. And it's fun. And I'm writing this book on partnerships. And one of the chapters I'm most proud of, if not the chapter I'm most proud of, is the chapter on understanding and providing freedom. And my little sentence that I came up with, again, I'm proud of, is that freedom is found somewhere in the realm of trust. I don't remember exactly what it is, but somewhere within trust, but inside of boundaries. So basically it's saying that you have to trust the person that you are giving freedom to, but also have boundaries. Respect their boundaries, and they have to respect yours. So I go into a discussion about what trust is. And yeah, like, again, this is taken a lot from what Mike Shine said, but I just said I didn't do a lot of research. I did do a little bit of research, and I did do a little bit of further thinking on it. Anyway, I'm really happy with this chapter. It talks about how, in order to trust somebody, you have to believe in their honesty, and their reliability, and their judgment. And it goes through, like, how you can see if someone is honest and reliable and has good judgment. Are they transparent? Do they have integrity? Do their words and actions meet up? And then, like, you look at their past, and have they made good judgments? I do have to say, like, given that criteria, I wouldn't exactly trust myself, but I am working on that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having that part of myself back. I have that part. From this moment on, I have that part back, right? Sorry, it's very moist out. It's a moist day, but it's a good temperature. It feels really nice, actually. It's not too hot. It's been so hot lately. It's like 70 degrees. It's like perfect, but it's wet. It's wet outside. Anyway, that's really about all that I have to say about integrity. There are more interesting concepts that I've been thinking about. especially in light of some of the stuff that I've been listening to with the Michael Singer lectures that I've been talking about so much. But that again is mostly about letting go and relaxing and focusing your consciousness on the right things. Anyway, that's another story. I'm going to go back to listening to the lectures, and I hope this has been useful. I do feel sad and a bit embarrassed, I guess, or ashamed more that I got away from this characteristic that I respected so much of in myself and that I respect so much. But reflecting on that, I can see where I went wrong. I can see what I can do to fix it. So I can choose to be grateful about it, because it is going to make me stronger as I reclaim this part of myself. No longer listening to the lower parts of myself and exercising my ability, my own power over the power of habit. So that's one of those concepts from Michael Singer. Anyway, that's what I'm looking forward to doing every day, every moment. So all of this stuff I can be grateful for, which prompts me to remind you that you can always choose to have a grateful day.